Conquering Mount Scrapmore with Brenda. I'm Brenda, and we're here today with another episode of Free Pattern Friday. Yes, Free Pattern Friday. Today I'm bringing you a PDF pattern called Cactus Flower. And so we've picked my palette of pinks and greens, and I thought, ooh, this would be so much fun. But you need to make sure you're the right size, right? So when you're measuring these pieces, these short pieces here, have to be 8.5. Yeah, 8.5. These shorter pieces, and these longer pieces here have to be 12.5 inches, right? So make sure, because I couldn't get a 1-inch test square, so make sure that 8.5s for all of these, and then 12.5, right? So that is very, very important because you want your block to turn out 12.5 inches unfinished. But before we do all this, let's get to our shout outs. Melody at Melody Joy Quilts, I'm sorry if I butchered your name. Oh my goodness. Her YouTube channel is going to be in our show notes, as well as, because you get a twofer today, Gladys at the Confident Quilter. Both of those ladies are going to have their YouTube channels in the show notes below for a shout out. You guys got to go check them out. They're both very different types of quilters, and both very, very talented people. So go check them out. If you like what you see, hit that subscribe button and tell them that Brenda from Conquering Mount Scrapmore sent you, because it's always a lovely surprise for them to get a shout out, and they don't know what's coming. So this is the way we bring joy to my viewers and the rest of the world. So now what else you're going to find in the show notes, of course, is now the quilt bingo. Once quilt bingo rounds up, we're filming this September 6th, and once quilt bingo rounds up, we're going to do another sew along called Twinkle Twinkle, and the only clue you're getting is save your strings, because we're going to have some more fun with our strings and moving them out of our sewing room. And we're going to make another, I have mine set for queen size, but you can change. I think what I'm going to do is give it to you in a couple of different sizes, so you decide what size of quilt you want to make depending on your amount of strings you've got, right? So the bigger the quilt, the more strings you use. And if you are anti-string, or you don't have strings, or you just a new quilter, you can cut your pieces out of, you know, your fat quarters or yardage. It's allowed. It really is allowed. Just because we do all sorts of scraps, you can cut into your fat quarters and yardage. Also, Mini Monday is back with some changes, and we're hoping you guys are enjoying that. I don't quite remember what day it's going to start on Mini Monday, but it's coming back with any block that's less than 12.5 inches unfinished, smaller, right? So like a 10.5 inch blocks are there, the 3.5 inch blocks are there, like all these different things. We're also going to explore small piecing, foundation paper piecing, maybe some English paper piecing. I'm not sure yet whether we're going to do this, or hand piecing, right? So these are all things that we can do with Mini Mondays and just have some fun. I've got like hundreds and hundreds of ideas, but we'll do Mini Mondays for a while, and then we'll switch off to something else. Also, the Zoom sew dates are the first Saturday of every month. You'll find which days are listed in below, as well as the Zoom sew link and the passcode. So just mark it on your calendar and come, and if you only come for a couple of hours, that's fine. It starts 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, because I'm in Alberta, Canada. And we just have fun hanging out. And if you don't have anything to sew that day and you want to bring your knitting, please do. We're more inclusive than exclusive. Also, making comments. Oh, please make comments. I love hearing from all of you guys. And if you have questions, I mean, that's something that we can address too. Making comments, share, like, subscribe, hitting that bell, thumbs up, whatever you can do for us to help drive our analytics so we move our videos forward. That would be so grateful. We are so grateful for all the people that we have watching us. Also, I get a lot of comments or questions about the quilts that are behind me. This is the nosegay quilt, and if you look by playlist, if you search by playlist, you'll find this pattern, free pattern, under, I think it's 5 different sizes I made. So you pick your size that you want to work with, and we just have a lot of fun. Also, the Facebook group is growing rapidly. It's warm and welcoming, and we have a lot of fun people in that group, and it's just, we answer questions, we take polls, we have to. Now, the admins have asked me something on the Facebook group to do, right? Is that when you want to join, because it is a private group, please answer the question and agree to the rules. If you don't answer the questions or don't agree to the rules, they don't let you in. So please do that. Make sure you're doing that. If you want to join if you're part of the Facebook community and want to join, that's perfectly fine. We also have a virtual sewing room 24/7 and under Discord, and there's always somebody in there from around the globe. I mean, because, you know, Zoom and Facebook and, you know, Discord are all worldwide platforms, right? So you never know who you're going to sew with. We also have several community chats, and we do fabric exchanges by country to keep the postal costs down. And when we're filming this, the British, the England's fabric swap, they're doing a Sunbonnet Sue swap, fabric swap. And I'm very upset that I can't join that because the postage cost would be enormous. But what the heck, right? I mean, it is a lot of fun when you get into those fabric swaps. Also, I speak for free about elements of design, making charity quilts, and working with scrap fabrics. And I am going to have a second speaking engagement ready for the end of December 2025. So that's kind of, you know, we have to work on that. We have to take pictures, and we've got lots to say in the second one as well. But I'm not going to name it yet. You guys have to wait. Also, shout outs. Please keep sending shout outs because, wow, that's a great way of finding out what's going on in our YouTube community. And there's room for all of the content creators in YouTube, right? So, you know, please keep sending them. Now, if you want me to get a hold of me to speak for your Quilting Guild or group, or shout outs, you can email me, that's in the About tab, or you can message me through Facebook. I'm a lot faster at Facebook than I am at email. That's just the way life is around here. So, I think that's it. Let's come on in and we'll get to the sewing here. Okay, we're at the sewing table, or the sewing machine. You're going to need some tape. It's your big friend. It's very important. A paper scissor to cut your pattern out. And once your pattern's cut out, you're pretty good. A rotary cutter. I mark my paper with what is a tracing wheel, and what it does is it leaves little marks or indentations. I hope you can kind of see. You can kind of see where you need to cover and what you need to cover, right? That's always really important to have on hand when you're doing foundation paper piecing. I like using a 1/4 inch ruler, because it's got a nice little lip on the back, and you can push the fabric out of the way with that and measure a perfect 1/4 inch. If you don't have one of these, or you don't like the idea, the newer ones are a little wider, so they're a little safer to hold on to, right? And because you're running your rotary cutter right there at that blade, so that's kind of scary for some people. You can use your regular ruler because it does have a 1/4 inch mark on it. So, and then this is kind of, I know this is kind of like sounds strange, but you know, it is what it is. Now, when it comes to your pieces, I also have a fabric scissors. When it comes to your pieces, make sure these are from this end to this end, 8.5 inches. And it is 8.5 inches here because you have to tape this together, right? These you don't worry about because you don't have to tape them. This 8.5 inches, for all these little ones, are all 8.5 inches. And this is 12.5, right? From edge to edge is 12.5. So that I couldn't put an 1.5 inch mark on there, so it's kind of like, okay, well, here we go. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do a few of these, and I'm going to show you how I do them. Now, I'm just going to grab one, and we're going to start with the dark green. Okay, so I'm going to get a much smaller piece because I don't need something that big. Now, what I usually do, the dark green needs to be about there, and I have selvage on one side, so I'm going to clip it just a bit bigger, and I'm going to rip it, just like that. Yes, I can rip fabric. Yes, I'm allowed. I'm allowed to rip fabric. Because you're trimming off all this. And I just take off my selvage edge right away too, because I don't need that in the works. And I've got a couple, there's a kind of this green now. The darker green dots on here are the same color as this green, right? So it, even though one reads more blue and the other one reads more yellow, like a, you know, putting a warm green with a cool green, they work because that little dot matches, right? So you kind of have to think about what's coming on. Now, as I was ironing these, I realized I had 2 pinks. So I'm going to take one of the pinks and just put it to the side for now, because I don't need that much pink, right, to make the cactus blossom. And my blossoms are, let's see, this big. Let's see how many blossoms I can get out of that piece. I might have to cut a couple pieces that big. But anyways, yeah, I'm just gonna cut. I was gonna cut a couple of them right now. Here. So there, it gets us started. It gets us a good starting position. And because you've cut them bigger, right, or did them a little bit bigger, you've got straight grain, and you don't have to worry about it, right? You don't have to worry about a bunch of stuff. Now, I also need some, some low volume. I'm going to get some low volume here, just like so. And this is a kind of a funny low volume because it's got like 3 different colors on here, but it'll work. It'll work. It'll be fine. Here, get a couple of pieces of that. And where do I need my light green? Oh, pale green. There we go. Pale green. We take the smaller piece first. We always want to, when you're working with scraps, you always take your smallest piece that you can get away with first. And I'm just going to lay this on top. So now for the dark green, it says you want to start here and then put a pink beside it. Okay, so we flip this over and we put our green up, right? Like we've got it up like this, right? Now we're also going to put a pink. I want as much pink as possible on this. Well, cactus blossoms are kind of one of those strange little plants that, you know, sometimes you've got a little bit of green in the blossom itself. So now I want to put this just like so under the needle, and I want to make sure. Oh, I flipped it. Oh no, don't flip it. If I make a mistake, I'll do the standard, okay, I made a mistake, we'll take it apart and we'll show you how to fix it, because that's important that if you don't ever know how to do foundation paper piecing, you need to know. Now I make a little knot going up and down, and then I finish going across. And yes, I have a leader ender here. And let's see. Okay. Pale green, let's start with a pale green. There we go, and we'll do, we can do 2. Okay, let's do a couple of these. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do these 2 right away, and I'm going to start with this one first. Oops, there we go. Now, when you're doing these, you're going to put the biggest piece down first, right? Usually you try to start with the biggest piece first. They're numbered, and you know, and you can just put a pin down. You don't want too many pins, however, because what happens, it will distort your piece. So now I'm just going to fold this out of the way, because I know I got good coverage all the way around. And I'm just going to trim off the bit I don't need. Now this is big enough to go into my green crumb, so I'm putting it to the side. And now I'm going to take a piece of pink, and we're just going to sew it on. Sew it on like that. There we go. I might need more pink. Oh well, that's fine. So then you just snip and whatnot like this. So now we go from the outer edge. Again, you're holding what you're doing, and you go up and down a couple of times, like just like 2 to 3 times. That's it. There we go. Hold at the end, and then let it go through. Okay. There. Now we want to do the same again with this piece. It's better sometimes if you have them all lined up and ready to go, you know, like, and foundation paper piecing is a very, you know, subjective thing to do, right? So now we want to roll this over, and you only want to do one side at a time on this. There we go. Okay, now you're putting this down like so, and you're cutting right there. Now, this is the pink is a very large scale print, so I'm looking for pieces that will end up more on the background of this print. There we go. Okay. I'm starting to lose the battle here, so I better get this done. Okay. So now I've taken off this piece, and I'm just going to rough trim off the green, so I know I have enough green, like dark green. And then we're going to push this pink over, just like so. Now you would take this to your ironing board at this point. I've got nails out cut through drywall, so I mean, you know, it's always nice to have nails that can do that. But so what I'm going to do is I'm going to line this up to get the low volume one next. And this is always, I find, when I am cutting, or when I'm doing lots of stuff like this, right? If I can have my stuff marked ahead of time, I'm always doing so much better with it. And I don't know what it is about this process, but it's because it's backwards, right? You're sewing everything on backwards. And I think that's what messes a lot of people up. This is why a lot of people don't like foundation paper piecing. So I'm going to do the pennyweight part. The pennyweight parts are these little pointed edges, right? So let's get this one in. And what we're going to do is lift our foot up there. Now you can run as many of these through your machine as you want. Like when I'm doing a bunch, I would do like a handful of them all at once, right? That's just the way I would do it. So now with this, of course, there, I'm going to get that out of the way. And I'm going to take this, and I'm going to trim off the excess here, right? Just here, just like so. Because that's ridiculous to have that hanging out when I can use it somewhere else, right? Now I am going to turn this over like so. Oh, get these out of the way because that would be bad to cut into them. Just like that. And I wonder, does this fit? Yes, it does. Okay. So we can just put the piece that I cut off, I can just sew that right on there. That's fine. It'll work. It will work. Okay. Sometimes people only want to work on 2 or 3 things just so they have a continuous thing to sew. And if that's your jam and you want to do that, that's fine. It works. It will work. It will work for you. Okay, now, oops, get this done next. There, and do we have a piece now? Now this is what I'm talking about when it comes to large scale prints. Is this piece pink enough to read as pink? Right? And I'm going to say yes it is, because it does have a bit of detail. But I want to make sure I get the piece. You know what? I'm going to say no, because I've got all this in green up here. When I flip it over, it'll read a lot of green. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to find another piece of pink, Where'd the other piece of paint go? Right here. Okay, we'll put this to the side for now. Go just like this. And some of this pink, because it's such a large scale, you're not going to be able to use it. Right, this piece here is more green, reads too green, so I would put those to the side. And I would grab another piece of pink. Let's just grab another piece of pink. It's easier just to grab it and be done with it. And I need it to be about this big. There. I like this. I like this method of just looking what I need and ripping it. Anyways, so I'm going to get to a certain point here, and there. Okay, so this now, there goes like this. Oops, nope, it's got to go like this. There. There we go, just like so. All right. Now, there we go. Okay. There we go. Now, we're going to get a piece of dark green and we're going to put it here. I bet you anything my dark green isn't that I trimmed is not big enough. Oh well, that's okay. We got lots of dark green. We have lots of dark green. It'll be fine. Okay, now I'm going to need a piece of green that's big enough to cover that. So I'm just going to get something a little, I'm going to quickly give it a quick measure. It's 3.5, 3.5, and just a little bit bigger, more generous. There. Yes, there's a lot of waste in foundation paper piecing, and I will be the first to admit that. There we go. Now, these two pieces are done. And we have a few more to go, and that's okay. That is acceptable. And where to go? This went here. I'm just going to trim this up. Just do a rough trim. Don't get too carried away with doing a precision trim yet, because there's lots of piecing and whatnot to do. So I'm just going to move this piece now is done. Right? I mean, I've got to trim it up, and, you know, if I want to salvage, you know, do the salvage edges or around the edge, I mean, I can do that. And so is this piece. And all this piece needs is to be out of the machine. And I'm going to work back on this one because it needed a piece of fabric that went a little different direction. So now, if I go like this, I'm going to have the wrong piece. Okay, so we're going to start from the other end. We're just going to go right across like this. Right across. Straight across. And give it a little snip. There. Just like that. There we go. We don't need anything fancy. Okay. So yes, the best idea you can do for yourself, especially if you're, I find I can do foundation paper piecing even when I'm tired, as long as I have what color goes where on the front. I know that sounds very strange, but it's very, very true. Right? So, there we go. And just move that out like so. And I have a perfect point to boot because I've done it foundation paper piecing. Right? And here we go. Put this back into the pile of stuff. and move to the next piece that I'm working on. Now, okay, let's do dark green, and what was it, pink? It's pink, right? Yes, it is pink. Okay, dark green and pink. There we go, just like that. We're going to lay these across. Now we're going to do another piece. There we go. And you just hold it a bit in the seam allowance and have your needle go up and down a couple of times. That's going to create that lovely little knot, right, in your work. Okay. And now we get to the bigger piece. There we go. There. Now, this is one of these pieces. What's coming up next here? This, you got to find a piece that's one long enough. This is long enough, definitely long enough to go from here to here. But when you're sewing this together, if you were just to put this way, it would go off at a crazy angle. So what you have to do is kind of mimic the angle a little bit to get what you need. Now I'm just going to make this just a hair bigger because I can use it then on the other side of this. I'm just going to make it a little bit bigger, a tad bigger. Right? Now this is a usable piece still in here, I hope. And when I flip this, you know, it's, oh God, it is going to go the wrong way. Well, I'm going to have to do this way. Okay, maybe I have to do it this way. Okay, well, we'll just hold the phone. I want this to fold out like that. So in order for it to fold like that, it has to be sewn like that. So it's this side that needs the trim. It's the wrong side that needs the trim. That's okay. I'll just quickly trim it this way, just like so. Give it a quick little trim. And it's going to fall that way now. And we just want to make sure we've got enough fabric on both. Now, did you guys see what I did? I took this and I cut this, right? I did it like this, and then I flipped it. So now I've got the right angle, but it's going the wrong direction. So what I did is then took this and went like this to get the right direction, right? Just folded it over. So now when I sew this to this and I scoogee it down a bit, it's going to turn the right direction this way. Okay, I'll show you in a sec here. We'll get this finished. Here, we'll pop this in and you'll see it in a minute. Hang on. There we go. Okay, I know this sounds so strange when I'm showing you that, and I'm like, oh my God, I've just probably confused everybody. But it works. It does work when you do it that way. Okay, get this ready, like so, and get off the hinge so I can cut it without cutting my finger. There we go. Come on, cut. Okay, now, this piece that we cut off is going right here, and it'll be fine. There. Okay, now, this is what I was doing. Okay, so now this has turned this way. There we go. and it is perfect, right? It's going the right direction. Everything is lining up just beautifully. Now all I have to do, I'm going to put a little pin, give it a little tug, make sure it's secure. I'm going to put a little pin in here just to hold it in place, and then flip this back with this. Now that's the hardest part of this. Once you get this done, and there's 4 of them to do, right? Once you get that done, you've got this made in the shade, right? Because that's the hardest part. I just showed you the hardest part was. Okay, so this is not going to work because it's the wrong direction. That won't work either, so I guess we have to find something else to work there. This would look better here. And cut off, I'm going to cut off some of the green because it's too green. It'll be fine in a crumb block, but it's too green here for this. Right like so. Okay. There we go. There. Now that didn't seem too bad, did it now? And you guys are like, oh no! Okay, it's fine. It really is fine, guys. Okay, I could probably get away with this one. And I will. I will get away with it. I will get away with it. I'll make myself get away with it. Okay, now, so, okay, here we are. Just like that. There, just like that. Where is this? This is here. Okay, now I need a low volume. This piece is far too small. It's big enough for my scraps, but it's not big enough for me. Here, this will work. Oops, get rid of that. This will work perfectly. Okay, now we have another one of those pieces, right, where we're going to be doing it backwards. Again, I'm going to show you how to do this one again because I think I've lost a few of you. First off, I'm going to cut this off because I don't need that great big green piece there. There we go. Got it more manageable now. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is trim this. And get all of this junky, thready stuff out of the way. Okay. There we go. And that, there. There we go. And we get all of that out of the way. Okay. Now, what we've done, we've got another piece of white that has to go in here. And I don't have one that's big enough. So let's get another one cut. Okay, just like so. Okay, now I've got a bunch of thread here, and you just pull the thread off, right? Get it down to where it's a manageable amount. Okay, now, if I go like this, right, am I going to get the right? No, I'm not. So what I did last time, I'll show you what I did last time. I pulled this here like so, and I put my right sides together, just like this, and I'm pulling it back just a hair, so I can use it for something else. I'm pulling it back just a hair, and I am recutting this line, right? Okay, just like that, and that goes over there. Now this piece, once it's sewn on, we'll go like that, right? I don't need a piece that goes like that. I need a piece that goes like this. So I take my piece, and I could have probably done this a different way. I could have done this by, I'll just move this back just a hair back from where it is. Okay, now what happened? Okay, so what I did, I'm sorry we lost camera. So what I did is I folded this over, trimmed off the piece that was here, right? And I don't know where we lost it, but okay. And then what I did is I put this over and trimmed off this piece that was here. And now I have a piece that I can sew on like this, and it will be going in the right direction. So I know some of you are like, oh no, she lost the piece of the explanation. I hope we didn't lose too much of that, but I mean, we lose it. I mean, there's nothing I can do about it. So hopefully that all makes sense. I'm just going to check to see. Okay. There. Now, here we go. There we go. And I'm just going to put this down just a little bit. There. Now, I realize I'm taking up a lot of your day. And I'm sorry about that. I mean, sometimes paper piecing goes really quick, and sometimes, you know, it's like forever. It goes forever and ever and ever. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, just a minute here, stop filming right now, right here. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to stop filming, and I'm going to finish this, and then I'll have everything trimmed, and I'll show you how it all goes together. How's that for a deal? Okay, sorry about if we lost film and explanation, but we're trying to do our best here. I'll be right back. Okay, we've trimmed all of them up, and we haven't done any stay stitching yet or anything. And I want to show you how I do this. There is a sew line and a seam allowance line. So I put my 1/4 inch on the sew line, the 1/4 inch mark, and I just trim from there. Right, so I have a nice neat little trim going on. And again, I want to line it up. I've got a hinge for my sewing machine table right here. And nothing wants to cut there now. Okay, so we'll move this along. Just keep moving it along. Just trim it up the best you can. Okay, now, there we go. There we go. And that's the last of it. So I'm going to just take this. I'm going to move this out of the way. I'm going to move all this stuff out of the way because we don't need it anymore for this. So we might as well just take it and move it. Now we're going to lay this out. Now, the reason why you can't do this in one continuous piece is because you're always starting here, right? And then this way, and then up. But once you go like here, and then these two, and then this one, you can't go back to this one. You could do it if it was like this. If all the pieces were pointing in, it would be one continuous piece. But I thought it looked better this way. So now I'm just going to line all of this up this way, and this way, this way, this way, and this way. So the first thing that's your cactus block, or cactus blossom block. So the first thing we have to sew is the center two pieces together. And we're just going to line them up. Take your time to line them up. There's no rush, there's no big hurry. Let's move all this stuff out of the way. Okay, we want to just take our time. We want to sew on the line. I should probably have my 1/4 inch foot on. Hang on, let me get my 1/4 inch foot on instead. It'll be a little easier. Sorry this video is taking so long. This is such a pretty block when it's done. And it's a good one if you're when you think about it, if you're only making 35 blocks and they were all scrappy and you knew where your dark green was going and you knew where your pink or white or light greens were going, you could do quite a few of these very quickly, right? And have a lovely scrappy creation. And I've got just a little leader ender project here beside me, and I'm just going to run them through. Okay, so now with this, you can press it either way, doesn't matter. Some people want to take off the seam, this paper on the seam, and you can do that if you want. And I think I'm just gonna, it doesn't take long to remove it, so I think that might be a good idea. Oops, just to remove the paper on the seam, right? It just makes it a little quicker when you're pulling the stuff off. It's up to you. It's up to you how you want to do this. Okay. So now we're going to put, this goes like this, so I'm going to pull one side. We're going to put one this side. Line it up. Again, take your time. Oops. It'd be better if we lined it up so we could see our point. Because we're, okay, so what I did, I just changed this around. Okay, we need to make these points perfect. So what we want to do, we want to take this and line it up this way and have this piece on top so we know exactly where our point needs to be. And I know this is foundation paper piecing. We still have the paper on. It should work out beautifully, but you know, it is what it is. Sometimes I'm a skeptic. And another leader ender. I have so much of this kind of a rusty red, and I'm like, okay. All right, there we go. So we're going to just tip that out like so. Put it back. Go like this. Take your time, get it all lined up nice. Nice and neat. There we go. And another leader ender. Oh. Yeah, this I have oodles. I don't know where I got it from, and it's an odd size cut. Okay. Now we want to push that out of the way and make sure it's sitting all nice. And then we want to put these two short ends on. There. And we don't have any points to match, so we can just line this up the best we can. I guess we have these points. Now I call these shapes here pennyweight. It's kind of a very old-fashioned, what is it, surveyor or something like that, something along that line, that used to do pennyweights. Okay, another leader ender. You fold that out of the way. There. And you start to see this coming together. It's just going to be a lovely little block. Well, not little, it's 12.5 inches. But it's going to be pretty. There we go. And another leader ender. I'm getting lots of these done today. Yay! It's okay that we get lots done today. And now you're going to push this out just like so. Okay. And one side goes on one side and the other one goes on the other side. So let's just line this all up. There, perfect. There. There we go. Just get that out of the way. And another leader ender. One of the things I was going to mention to you guys, when it came to these pieces, odd shaped white pieces, these ones right here, the other thing you could do is start, that could be your piece 1, and then 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, right? I mean, you start here and then you just trim off what you don't need. That might be a little easier way for some of you to handle that odd shaped piece, but that's just a tip. Because I mean, it's a symmetrical block or asymmetrical block. That piece is asymmetrical, so you can play around with it a bit. Okay, I'll line this up. Perfectly. Yeah. Okay, and a leader ender to get this off the end. Okay, there we go. Okay, so now, okay, what we did, I've got this twisted, that's okay. Okay, so I'm just going to go in and clip this because this one got twisted. Now, so you put these two together, and you put these ones, and then these ones, and these ones. And when I'm talking about that low volume piece that's an odd shape, you can put this one down first, and then work from the center out. That would also help you, put this, have that easier for you to manage. If you can't manage that funny, weird angle, it's a good idea to practice, because when you see something one time, all of a sudden, and it's, it has all those funny angles, but you have to not be able to do it first. This one you could do it first and just work from the inside out on all these strips, right? I mean, but you might end up with a pattern where you can't, and it would be nice to know then how to do those odd angles. So anyways, let me get this, stay stitching. Let's get the stay stitching done, and I'll get to our ta-da moment. Okay, so here is our pretty little cactus flower. It came together just like a dream. There's, no issues here. Gave it a quick press. Everything looks great. And because I took the time with my tracing wheel, wherever it has gone, this tracing wheel, it basically, the paper will come off really quick, really easy. It helps you remove the paper. Remember, when you're doing foundation paper piecing, smaller stitch length, a sharp needle when you start, because that will make such a wonderful difference in your work. Yeah, this one came together, and I hope you give this one a try. So until we see each other again, stay well, take care. I hope life is treating you gently. Okay, bye! My husband and I would like to thank you for all of your support and watching our videos and sharing and liking. It has just been, you've put us on such an amazing journey, and we are having so much fun. I hope everything is going so well in your life, and your 1/4 inch is perfect. Everything is working out for you. And we're just so happy to be part of your life, and you having, like I say, you're watching us. I was just so thrilled that you're doing that. So I want to say goodbye, and I want to thank you with all my heart. Okay? Take care. Bye.